In this video, I want to take a look back at my predictions for the 2024 Toronto real estate market, and I want to see just how right or how wrong I was with those predictions. And if you want to roast me down in the comments after we see just how far off I was on some of these, be my guest. If you're new here, my name is Jason with the Bondy-Sawyer real estate team in the city of Toronto. I've been a realtor since 2006, and I have helped plenty of buyers and sellers make smart real estate moves. If you want to book a call with me to discuss your real estate plans, you can go ahead and do so using that first link down in the description. Now, if you find any value in this particular video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so that you see more of our videos in the future. At the end of 2023, I made a video looking at 5 of my predictions for the 2024 Toronto real estate market. So I want to go back and look at clips of those 5 predictions now to see how they actually played out. Okay, let's get into it. Prediction number 1, we're going to see more sales in 2024. We still have a few days left in the year, so obviously we don't have all the numbers yet, but based on the data we do have, it's looking as though we're going to end 2023 with somewhere just under 66,000 residential resale transactions. Do I think we're going to return to the 10-year average of 94,000? No, I don't. I think we'll probably end up somewhere between the 66,000 we're seeing in 2023 and that average number. So probably somewhere around 80,000 sales. We did see more sales in 2024 than we did in 2023, but I predicted we'd end up somewhere around 80,000 sales. We're not at the end of the year yet, but it's looking like we're actually going to end up somewhere between 68 and 69,000 sales. The numbers were not quite as optimistic as what I thought they were going to be. Prediction number 2, we're going to see interest rates start to come down in the first half of 2024. The Bank of Canada's policy interest rate currently sits at 5%. And the general economic view right now is that the Bank of Canada is basically done with interest rate increases, and we will see the first cut somewhere around mid-2024, with some people thinking that it could even come in the second quarter of the year. Now, I personally think that by the time we reach the midpoint of the year, so July 1st, we will have already seen at least one rate cut. And that first rate cut will be 0.25%. On June 5th, the Bank of Canada cut their policy rate for the first time since March of 2020, and they cut it by 0.25%. As we now know, the Bank of Canada went on to cut that rate 4 more times in 2024. So they started all the way up at 5% at the beginning of the year, and they ended up at 3.25% at the end of 2024. Prediction number 3, prices are going to increase in 2024. This prediction is closely tied to prediction number 2, because once we see those interest rates start to come down, we will see more buyers come back into the market, which means more competition between buyers, which means upward pressure on prices. And I don't even think we're going to have to wait for multiple rate cuts to see this happen. I think one rate cut and then even just the talk of further rate cuts will be enough to create some movement on prices. Am I saying that we're going to see a huge jump in prices? No, I'm not. I think that within the first few months of the year, we will have hit bottom if we haven't already. And then as we move throughout the year, we'll start to see the prices come up. And I think the majority of those increases are going to happen in the second half of the year as the interest rates continue to come down. If you look at the average annual price growth in the GTA over the last 40 years, that number sits just below 7% per year. I think in 2024, we're going to end up somewhere below that average number. So this one is a little bit tricky. If you look at the overall average sale price for all sales that happened in the entire year in the GTA, I do think that that number is going to be a bit higher than it was in 2023. But we're not going to have that number until the market stats are released in early January 2025. Looking back at all of the monthly numbers, the average sale price in the GTA was up a bit year over year in February, March, and April, anywhere from 0.3 to 1.3%. But then from May to September, the average sale price was down a bit on a year over year basis, anywhere from 0.8 to 2.5%. In recent months, though, this has started to turn back around. In October, we saw the average sale price in the GTA up 1.1% compared to October of 2023. In November, we saw that number up 2.6% compared to where it was a year before. And that's the highest year over year increase posted in all of 2024. And when you break it down by home type, you see that each segment of the market was behaving a bit differently when it comes to average sale price. Detached homes in the GTA led the way in November, up almost 4% year over year. Semi-detached homes came in second at a 1.7% increase year over year. Townhouses were next at 0.8% increase. And then condos are the one segment out of the four where there was actually a year over year decrease in November of 2.5%. Prediction number 4, rental prices are going to increase in 2024. We have seen record price growth in the rental market over the last couple of years. And a big part of that is due to the higher interest rates, because as the cost of home ownership has gone up, many people who would have otherwise bought have had to pivot and are in the rental market now instead. So that has given us more tenants, which means more competition, which means higher rental prices. We also saw a large influx of tenants in the summer months, as many foreign students were coming here to secure rentals for the school year. As we move through 2024, I think the rental market is still going to be active, but we are not going to see the level of growth that we saw in 2022 and 2023. So instead of double-digit price increases, we'll probably see things fall in line with more normal levels, probably somewhere around 5%. In the third quarter of 2024, we saw the average rental price of condo in the GTA decrease by 5% compared to the third quarter of 2023. And this is an unusual trend because we typically see rents go up anywhere from 3 to 5% per year. Reduced immigration targets and a decline in non-permanent residents, combined with record high condo completions, are negatively affecting the condo rental market. Prediction number 5, we are not going to see a significant increase in distressed sales in 2024. As mortgage renewals start to roll over, some homeowners will be forced to sell because they simply cannot afford their higher mortgage payments. So yes, there are going to be more of those listings on the market in 2024, but I actually don't think it's going to be a significant number. Now, it's obviously a significant situation for any seller who's in that position, and I don't mean to downplay that at all. What I mean is the number of listings we're going to see because of this is not going to be significant enough to drastically change the supply issues that we have here in Toronto. Now, Ontario has the lowest level of mortgage arrears in all of Canada. It currently sits at 0.1%. And historically, we have seen that homeowners will try to do what they can to hang on to their homes, whether that be speaking with their lender, trying to extend their amortization, reducing their spending, whatever it might be. And if you take into account some of the things that I mentioned in my other 4 predictions, pent-up demand, lowering interest rates, and add that to the huge amount of population growth that we've seen in the last couple of years and that we're going to see going forward, I just don't see a situation where distressed sales alter the relationship between supply and demand to such a degree that it really has an effect on prices. So the mortgage delinquency rate was on the rise in 2024. In Toronto, back in the fourth quarter of 2023, it was 0.12%. In the third quarter of 2024, that number rose to 0.17%. So an increase, yes, but a very small percentage of all mortgages. As a realtor in Toronto, there are 2 areas that I've seen affected by this. One is the condo assignment market, and the other is the condo resale market. So the condo assignment market, these are people who bought pre-construction a number of years ago, and they are now trying to offload those units before the building reaches completion. And I've actually seen a number of assignments this year being marketed explicitly as seller is selling at a loss. Now, the condo resale market has been affected as well. Not so much end users, more so investors. Again, these are investors who bought a number of years ago and they've been renting out their condos. But because of the rising interest rates, coupled with a softer rental market, they are cash flowing negative to such a degree now that it no longer makes sense to hang on to these units. Again, if you have anything to add at all, please drop it down in the comments. And keep an eye out for my next video where we'll be looking at my predictions for the 2025 Toronto real estate market. Over here next to me are a couple of other videos that I think you want to take a look at. Over here is a link to subscribe to the channel. That's it for now, and I'll see you next time.